Hey, I mentioned in my Raw review that I was currently recording TNA Impact. Now, you might ask yourself, how am I doing that? Is it replaying on Spike? Did you DVR it? Well, no, I didn't DVR it, and no, it's not playing on Spike. Instead, what I did is I downloaded it from a wrestling site. Now, there's numerous wrestling sites out there, message forums or whatever you want to call them, that allow you to download wrestling, UFC, boxing, you name it, any kind of grappling sport. And one in particular is known as Extreme Wrestling Network, the XWN. Now, most of you may know about that. But basically, on this website, on this message board, you can talk about anything, you can discuss things, but if you scroll down, oh, by the way, you have to sign up, and sign up is free. But when you scroll down, you'll notice there's a media section. And the media section is for just about anything: wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, grappling. And the way the listing goes is like this. On the top, you have your weekly show. You have what is known as weeklies. Once you click, and then you have a whole list of promotion names, or organization names on there, or show names that you can click on to see exactly what they have to offer. Now, the one I click on sometimes, if I'm not here, or if I'm watching something else, is either Impact or SmackDown. Now, when I tune in to, today I clicked on Impact. And Impact, from yesterday I should say, I clicked on it. And I downloaded it. And I burned it to a DVD. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means currently I'm recording the TNA Impact from last night. So that way I'll have both Raw and Impact from last night on the same disc. Now it's not just for weekly stuff either. Believe it or not, you don't just get weekly programming of Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, or TNA Impact, or even WWE Superstars. No, you get other shows that you don't know about. Like, you can get Florida Championship Wrestling, the developmental territory. You can get that. You get NXT if you're interested in NXT. Let's see. You get Ring of Honor in case you don't have HD and you don't have HDNet. You can get indie promotions. You can get UFC, you name it, Strikeforce, I believe. And it's not just with the weekly pay-per-view, weekly shows either. I mean, you also get that vintage collection, which shows you matches from the past. But it's not just those. You also get a listing of pay-per-views. That's right. And the pay-per-views vary like this. The pay-per-views, when you scroll down a little bit, and it shows pay-per-views, well, it's going to show pay-per-views anyway. It's got the sections on there of like, what do you want to click? Do you want to click TNA, WWE, Ring of Honor, UFC? So, anyway, you go down a site like that, and you go to the pay-per-view section. And you know what this does? In case you can't afford a pay-per-view. Like for me, this past 2 days ago, ordering WrestleMania is the only wrestling, grappling, mixed martial arts pay-per-view I will order during the year, because it's basically the Super Bowl of wrestling or sports entertainment, whatever you want to call it. So, anyway, the way I've been watching a lot of the pay-per-views is I've been going to this site, and I have been going to sites like Extreme Wrestling Network, And I have basically been downloading all the pay-per-views, each and every one of them that I can think of. I mean, a couple weeks ago, I downloaded Destination X. Last month, I downloaded Against All Odds and Elimination Chamber. The month before that, I downloaded Genesis and the Royal Rumble. You get the idea. And what's funny about this, it takes it within, I do this within the 24-hour range. Basically, what somebody does, from what I understand, within 12 to maybe 24 hours, they upload the entire pay-per-view onto the site. Now, the only disadvantage about when someone uploads it is you don't know what format they're uploading it in. For example, one of the most popular downloading and uploading sites there is Mega Upload. Now, unless you're a premium member, which I was once at one time and want to be again, but unless you're a premium member, unless you're a premium member, you don't get the advantage of being able to download constantly. Because if you're just a regular member, you have a certain limit of how many downloads you can get. So sometimes people will, take an entire pay-per-view, either something like WrestleMania, or in the next few weeks, Lockdown, or whatever, or even the UFC 111 from this past Saturday, which I also downloaded. What they will do is they will take them and they will separate them into so many files, so many links, or links that you don't click on, but sometimes you also got to copy and paste. And what this does is it becomes frustrating because a bunch of raw files, and sometimes they take a little longer than others, and you can't constantly get them all at the same time. You got to wait. The one I look for sometimes I will download the raw files just to get the whole thing straightforward. But what I do most of the time is I look for the two separate files off Mega Upload that say CD1 and CD2, and I download those and be done with it. Because I know even if it stops at the end of CD1 for about a few seconds, there's this little count up of 0 to 77 to 80 to 100, whatever. The kind of buffing deal. Or rendering, whatever you want to call it. At least I know I'm going to get a whole pay-per-view without having to wait impatiently on the computer. Now I know some people might say, well, the raw files aren't that big. They're basically like 100 megabytes. That's true, they are, but I'd rather just get it done with and over with. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's not just for wrestling. It's for UFC, it's for Ring of Honor, they've done it all. But in closing, basically what I'm trying to say in closing is, if you decide to watch, like on Monday nights, if you decide to watch Raw over Impact or Impact over Raw, go to a site, look up a site like Extreme Wrestling Network, look up the message boards there, sign up, scroll down, and click on the show that you missed, and download it, and burn it to a DVD, or if you got Xbox 360, watch it from there, and if you got a DVD recorder or a VHS recorder, record it. And then that way, like me, you can have it, and you won't have to miss it. But overall, that's all I want to say. And that same goes for pay-per-views. If you can't afford the pay-per-view, download it the next day. But that's all I want to say about sites like ExtremeWrestlingNetwork.org or .com. Try looking it up one of those ways. And I will talk to you all later. You got any comments, feedback, let me know. I'll talk to you live later.